Blake Lively's super shady legal tactic that set off war with Justin Baldoni before he even had a clue. Let's get into it. That was the headline in the Daily Mail today because they have uncovered how Blake Lively received all of the text messages that Justin Baldoni's publisher, etc., had been sending to each other about the alleged PR smear campaign. Here's what they wrote. Blake Lively quietly filed a clandestine lawsuit months before her legal war with It Ends With Us co-star Justin Baldoni became public in an apparent plot to seize damning text messages from his publicist. And man, they were damning. The filing allowed her attorneys to issue a subpoena for the embarrassing texts and then drop the lawsuit, all without Baldoni's team knowing it even existed. According to the Daily Mail, this is news to Justin Baldoni's lawyer, Brian Friedman. They said he didn't know anything about this until they called him for his input today. He was quoted as saying, "This appears to be an end around skirting the process to be able to secretly get those documents without having to give anyone notice. That would be an abusive process, and we intend to take all action allowable under the law." Little backstory here. We all know Blake Lively sued Justin Baldoni, then Justin Baldoni sued Blake Lively, but Stephanie Jones, who owns JonesWorks, which was Justin Baldoni's publishing company, also sued Justin Baldoni and a lot of other people as well. Well, Justin turned around and he sued her as well. One of the things Justin Baldoni and his team were suing Stephanie Jones for was allegedly giving Blake Lively's team all of their text messages, etc., before a subpoena was received. Now, Stephanie Jones says this is not true, and she has filed a lot of paperwork to prove this. This is Stephanie Jones. So Stephanie Jones owned the company that Justin Baldoni's publicist, Jennifer Abel, worked for. Now, Jennifer Abel allegedly was trying to start her own company and had been reaching out to Stephanie's clients to try and get them to come over to her new company. Now, when she started that new company, she took Wayfair, Justin Baldoni's company, and Justin Baldoni with her. Stephanie alleges that Jennifer was doing a lot of things behind her back that she did not agree with, that she was also blaming all of the drama on Stephanie Jones and all of the media leaks that were going to the press, again, saying they were Stephanie Jones instead of coming from Melissa and Jennifer. It looks like Justin Baldoni's claim that Stephanie Jones handed over all the text messages and emails, etc., illegally without being subpoenaed. We now know that Blake Lively's team came up with a way to go after those emails and text messages confidentially so that the public didn't get wind of what she was doing, and Justin Baldoni's team had no idea it was happening. Court records obtained by the Daily Mail show that Blake Lively's team filed a lawsuit to get a subpoena to Stephanie Jones's company for all the evidence they needed. Now, they did not file this under Blake Lively's name. Instead, they used one of her and Ryan's companies called Vanzan, and they filed this lawsuit on September 27th, so long before Blake actually filed her lawsuit. According to online information, Vanzan Inc., which is Blake and Ryan's company, was started January 23rd in 2019, and they used this company in order to file the lawsuit. Justin Baldoni's lawyer, Brian Friedman, is of course extremely upset about this. He had no idea that this was filed and no way of even finding it because it was filed under their company name instead. They also did not list any of the names in this document. Instead, they referred to them all as John Doe or Jane Doe. Justin Baldoni's lawyer is extremely upset about this, of course. Brian Friedman had no idea that this was filed, and there was no way of him able to find it because it was filed by this company, Vanzan. Now, Stephanie Jones, of course, has filed to dismiss Justin Baldoni's claims against her, and now that we know how Blake Lively got the subpoena and that it was legal, perhaps her case will be dismissed after all. Blake Lively's attorney, Ezra Hudson, said that these John Doe lawsuits are common and entirely appropriate legal tools for pursuing claims and uncovering the identity of unknown perpetrators of unlawful activities. This lawsuit unearthed the Wayfair party's documented plan in their own words, in their own text messages, to destroy Blake Lively. Their fake outrage has nothing to do with legal ethics or the law, which are not an issue here, and is entirely about the fact that they got caught doing something that they insisted would be untraceable. Another lawyer also backed this up that the Daily Mail interviewed. It was Lincoln Banlow, who's an LA-based attorney. They said this is not unusual at all to file a lawsuit against unnamed defendants if the plaintiff doesn't know their names yet. For example, in defamation cases against anonymous social media users. And this is the woman who filed Blake Lively's lawsuit. This is Samantha Katz, and she said there's nothing unusual about using this kind of mechanism to uncover who's doing things you believe are improper. This is Jennifer Abel, so Justin Baldoni's publicist. Now, she was working for Stephanie Jones at Jones Work, Stephanie's company, and she was using work phones and computers. So it was not illegal for Stephanie Jones to go into her items and take all those emails and text messages. They are actually company property. Now, unfortunately for Jennifer Abel, there were a ton of text messages and emails included in that subpoena that were talking about Justin Baldoni's team taking down Blake Lively, including the now famous line saying they were going to destroy her. So it does now look like all of those text messages and emails were given to Blake Lively legally through an actual subpoena. So Stephanie Jones's lawyer was quoted earlier as saying that Stephanie did not leak any of this information, but rather complied with a legal court-ordered subpoena. She said Miss Jones provided materials to Miss Lively's team in response to the subpoena. Why would Miss Jones fight a subpoena when she had nothing to hide? Now, this is just my opinion because I am no legal expert, but I'm assuming a lot of celebrities probably use this technique of filing lawsuits under company names or other names to avoid the media catching wind of what exactly is going on before they're ready to present their case. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to hit follow.